another edition of Diplomatic Affairs. My name is Harriet Nate. It is the inauguration of the Surinamese diplomatic mission in Ghana. The Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shirley Ayoko Botwe, in her remarks highlighted on the 4 separate agreements that have been signed by both nations. The Vice President of the Republic of Suriname, His Excellency Michael Agin, has led a high-powered delegation, including the Foreign Affairs Minister, for a 5-day official visit to Ghana. On Tuesday, April 23, the delegation called on the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shirley Ayoko Botwe, to hold discussions on the long-standing relations between Ghana and Suriname dating back to the 70s and the subsequent establishment of diplomatic relations. The meeting kick-started with the signing of 4 agreements, which is expected to further cement the already existing bilateral relations between Ghana and Suriname. Both countries expressed support for specific areas of collaboration, especially in the areas of trade and investment, agriculture and agro-processing, mining, and tourism. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shirley Ayoko Botwe, also noted that Ghana's educational sector had great potential for cooperation, especially in the fields of technical education and culture, where Suriname could send students to learn English and Ghanaian culture as a way of promoting intercultural exchange.
32 years ago, in 1987, officials of Ghana and Suriname initiated discussions on various aspects of cooperation, which included culture, education, maritime, air transport, trade, tourism, and forestry. This set the tone for subsequent engagements by our representatives. I recall with pleasure my meeting with my dear sister and colleague, Her Excellency Idris Polak Beagle, on the sidelines of the 73rd UN General Assembly in New York in September last year. We had extensive discussions aimed at strengthening and deepening our bilateral cooperation, and I'm pleased that today we can all bear witness to the fruits of these years of engagements. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to note that earlier today, my counterpart and I signed 4 separate agreements on political consultations between our 2 ministries. Visa exemption for diplomatic and service passport holders, a roadmap on the program for cooperation between our 2 countries for the period 2019 to 2023, and a letter of intent for cooperation and collaboration in the field of diplomacy and international relations. These are just the beginning of greater things to come as we seek to further explore ways of bringing businesses and people of our 2 beloved countries closer. On this note, I wish to reaffirm the government of Ghana's continued commitment to work closely with the government of Suriname for the mutual benefit of our peoples.
Of course, a program of this nature could not have gone on without Ghana's representative to the region. So we had the privilege of speaking to Ghana's ambassador to the region, Ambassador Abena Pokuya Adompem Buzia. How does it feel to be a part of history?
It's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling that things have moved to the point where that kind of concretization, if you like, of relations can take place.
This conversation has been ongoing between both countries for some time now, over 30 years. Finally, it is here. What are some of the things that we should be looking at as 2 nations in terms of economic, political, and social platforms?
Well, I think one of the reasons why it's really important, I'll actually begin with the cultural. I'm one of those people that believes that the strength of economic and business and so on ties, its foundation is always built on a kind of cultural understanding. And the thing that is really special about Suriname, which anybody who goes there can attest to, is that it is a very diverse little country. I mean, it's big, but the population is small. But the Africans there are quite distinctively Akan. And it's one of the places where you can say the people, for various interesting historical reasons, they were the Maroons, they set themselves aside. And so they, many ways they kept the culture intact. We have similar geographic landscapes that we can exploit. In particular, we have gold, we have bauxite. And what is significant about that is that both nations have got experiences, different experiences that we have learned from, to share cultural practices and to build South-South relations based on sharing our knowledge and sharing our resources. How have we dealt with both legal and illegal mining? How do we deal with the fact that although they're often called illegal miners, it is those small miners who keep the investment in the country, whereas the larger companies tend to be extractive, and we're trying to stop that. They employ people, but where does the wealth go? How do we learn to adjust and accommodate those kinds of things? And from that, then, we can move to all kinds of things. For our government here, as we know, our resources, our most precious resources, are human resources, especially in our youth. So anything that can build ties, that can strengthen educational ties and share educational knowledge between the two of us, the two countries, will help.
At the occasion, we also had the privilege of speaking to the Vice President of the Republic of Suriname, His Excellency Michael Agin. Let's take a look at our discussion. With us is the Vice President of the Republic of Suriname right here in Ghana. Yes, on our show, we're still talking about relations between Ghana and the Republic of Suriname. It is the first of its kind in West Africa to have them established their diplomatic mission right here in the capital of Ghana. Is this your first time in Ghana? How does it feel to be here?
It's my first time in Ghana, of course, but you can imagine that we have a 400-year history. And so in that sense, our people are back here as children of this soil. And we said we are distance apart, the sea that's separating us, but the psyche, our people are the same. And it is now time to join together. And this marks the moment that we put the embassy here, marks the moment that we again try to bring development tandem with Ghana, with our people, both peoples, so that we can get more out of what we have. The potential is huge here in Ghana. Potential is huge in Suriname as well. So bringing forces together in a diaspora sense, this is very important to us. Yes.
What should we expect is one of the key questions I have basically ask all the people that are representing both countries on this platform. What are the expectations for you as the Vice President of the Republic of Suriname?
What you should understand is that there are two continents in the past when they were together. We are very near each other. Suriname, Ghana, Sierra Leone, that area. That makes the geographic constitution of the area the same. So what happens is you have gold, oil, bauxite, the same natural resources as you would have in Ghana, you see in Suriname. That's one. Of course, the rainforest is tropical as well. When you go back culturally, you also see the old culture that you had in Ghana still preserved there 400 years later. So then we as people should think, and governments are thinking about two things at least. Of course, the economic prosperity we can do in any of these natural resources areas We can have investors coming in for the natural resources. You have investors here. You have the gold company. You have bauxite that we can come in. We are in 2024. We are on the new bauxite industry. So how does Ghana participate? So there are many areas, and these same resources you have in Ghana, you can expect to have in Suriname. That's one. The second one is that culturally, heritage tourism is something that we are looking for. Since the preservation was there, preservation of the culture, we think of Ghana people to come to Suriname and see for themselves what culture has been preserved. For our people to go back and see how their forefathers and how the culture has evolved in Ghana. We have seen that in Kumasi, when with the anniversary of the king, of the 20th anniversary of the Golden Stool. So all these other people have to see for themselves. In that sense, we are now building for a direct flight. You know that normally when you go indirect, it takes 24 hours to come in Suriname. With the direct flight, it can take a minimum of 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours, and you're in Suriname, Paramaribo capital. So these are the areas of collaborations. We have signed MOUs today on different areas, but the direct flight will connect us even more.
We already spoke about your mission as the first in West Africa. Are you looking at establishing diplomatic relations with other West African countries?
We will use this embassy as a hub for all African countries on this continent and the African Union. That has been decided. And that's why we're glad that today this moment is here. We have all the other countries also visiting us today. We had talks with a few of the ambassadors yesterday, and they're very eager. And we told them, yes, this is the way we will go forward. This embassy is a starting point to open up the whole region.
Relations between Ghana and the Republic of Suriname is going to be reciprocal. Can I authoritatively say that? Relationship between Ghana and the Republic of Suriname is going to be reciprocal. Can I authoritatively say that?
Yes, we've put this today to the foreign minister also. We would appreciate them if they also open up an embassy in Suriname. That is very important for us. And so our diplomatic relations will strengthen through that. We have started here and they have also consented. So let us see. And I think that this is a starting point. And for us, it's only a beginning. We have, with this short mission of a few days, 4 or 5 days, we have signed MOUs, we have opened up relations, we have prospects, we have investors that we have talked to. They will, a few of them will come before June already. So it starts. We see a good momentum.
Thank you very much for your time, Your Excellency. It's a pleasure having you on Diplomatic Affairs. Thank you so much, sir. All too soon, this is where time will permit us. It's been great doing this with you. You can watch the program again on our platform, www.diplomaticaffairstv.com. My name is Harriet Nati. See you same time next week. Thanks for watching.